Hello everyone, it's Sabo here, and today we'll be continuing with the Great Ace Attorney. So last time we had the case against the English gentlewoman, and we won. And so now we're going to see what happens next. I have no idea what's going to happen, so I'm quite excited to see the events of what's to come. The adventure of the unbreakable speckled band. Okay.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with
Herlock
bated
Sholmes.
breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me.
Interesting
The victim's
intro.
most perplexing final words. The speckled band. "I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson." In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the
So I'm
most
really
terrible
invested in this
speckled
intro.
band I had ever seen.
Truly was speckled band. Okay. Interesting. It feels like a unique style to do the intro. The 9th of January, 6:37 a.m. on board the steamship Beria. Okay. Oh, we have a cutscene.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost
Interesting.
certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was
Interesting.
at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Okay. Oh, the fingerprints. Is that how they're going to do it this game? With Sherlock Holmes. Nice.
Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary.
That would be necessary. Okay.
In less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
Okay.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper
Yeah.
thin. You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant.
Oh, I just realised who the fisherman
in
is.
the world. Herlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Who's inside there? I am so confused as to what's happening right now. I'm just in for the ride. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Okay. Wait. I can't move. It shackles again. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? Until you wake up now, Then we have to drag you out the wardrobe. Wait, let me... Okay. I do not believe how you could wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. You We found you, and now you pay. Criminal. How long are you hiding that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that? Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Sutano? Miss Sato. What did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend like you don't know. You are a wolf in sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma's body was discovered not long ago. Here. Here in this very cabin. It was bolted shut. His body? Please. Do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead. Are these handcuffs? Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma's son's life? Answer me, please. No. No. Kazuma, it was just 2 short weeks ago. Hahaha. Don't you find it funny being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? There was really something else when they brought your luggage here earlier, though. The way the Russian crewman just tossed your travelling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. And 50 days. It's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. If you confide yourself in my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get feelings as Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. 50 days to get to England. Yes, 30 months, just for sure. What I want to know is, why do you need to keep a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikataba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, last time to see you has to come. Right. Okay. So to come and clean the cabin. I know it's crap, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my travelling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in. Then I'll be for it. Don't worry. I'll tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at the next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Duh, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. If it's the truth. Susato-san, please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I'd like to ask of you too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I could do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? Is it just a bad dream? And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There was no access to the cabin via the porthole window. And the bolt clearly operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or put another way, the culprit could have only been somebody inside this cabin. This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. The ship's doctors examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at the next port of call. Presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. About the incident. Could anyone answer what actually happened here in the cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone kill Kazuma? Presumably, there's nothing you know the answer to better than anyone. Please, whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I do every day so far on the voyage. But this morning he didn't come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato arrived at his cabin door? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to get worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the door open. Yep, and then they found the body. That was Kazuma's son, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. There must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. It's very hard for me to believe for me too, trust me. Now I told you everything I know. It's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy, but it's still throbbing like anything. Okay. Stowaway. Why even on board the ship now, Hoda-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh yes. I'm afraid it's true. It's been 2 weeks since we left Japan and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you occupy Kazuma's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, no, no. That would have been possible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? To go to such extreme lengths to struggle with the England with you. Hmm. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you, didn't I, that you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But if I ever really thought of becoming a lawyer, I never really thought of becoming a lawyer. But that's something you can decide for yourself. London is a spearhead of cultural development, the centre of the world in many ways. This can't be any harm in seeing such important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were ever to become a lawyer then what? Hmm? Hmm. Kazuma-sama he was always saying that the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then was darker than I've ever seen it before. Yeah. Sasato-san, I'm sorry we kept it a secret from you. My stowaway on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he's trying to protect me, to avoid me from becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. And now last night. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night, here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. No? Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yeah. So deeply that he didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really. I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please forget it. It's not just like, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there was no one else who could possibly have done this. Okay. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Okay, so is this whole case gonna be on this boat? Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator described. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around with my hands tied while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow this to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out what exactly happened here. I'm going to work out who took Casimir's wife and why they did it. I'm I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya. Oh, she knocked me out. What the? That was a Sisato takedown. Sisato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it. Yes, you're innocent. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Oh, that. Have you forgotten already? What you've achieved just in a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. Hmm. I've, I've yet to get successful time to believe me. I have to show some evidence that I'm proven not guilty of it. Itch, the paper seal. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the door? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazma always put it on whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decides to look inside. So naturally, he did the same thing last night as well. Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that side of the wardrobe door before you opened it. But if I was truly to culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the door myself. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Hmm. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma somehow thought so highly of you. Thank you, Sisato-san. Now do you think perhaps you can help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any real reason I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate thoroughly. Okay. Time to get into investigations. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. She's positioned perfectly for an information box to be right next to her. I wouldn't want you to use your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyways, I should make a start investigating here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I would avenge your death. Well, we've talked about everything. Now let's talk to Russian man over here. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crew makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it was going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal is asking the investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of ordinary at all? Yet, of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silence. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Sisato-san? Oh, she is so much like Maya Fey. Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself focused. I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Nahoda-san? I'm sure you're careful to look around using the directional pad, aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yeah. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever that thing was, it appears to have broken clean into. The glass is such beautiful color. It's like the cute little netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure what that sounds. I'm not sure if that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't carry the cute little trinket like that around, would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has some sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It's the color of a brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Okay. I'm investigating thoroughly, but I can't seem to find anything out of place. His sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring this on his trip. And now he's gone, but I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead yet. Yeah. Okay, let's look. What else? Oh, this. That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? No, I'm not a dog, said. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of, when and how did the plate end up on the floor? But Kazuma-san didn't like the chicken at all, did he? No. That's why, so he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-san spent all of last night, his last night on earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. There we go, let's look at this table. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and the cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm pretty sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. It might be in the food, actually. Yeah, that's interesting. It might be the food. There might be something in the food. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. I'm supposed he read this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No, that he was in terrible pain. It's always unbearable to imagine. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in the final moments. I'm sorry, partner. I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese now, Hodo-san. What? Then, what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's Russian. It's not a foreign script that I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Then we have the suitcase. That's a very large travelling case, isn't it? Yes. It carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away into this vessel. I was brought to board inside that case. Ah, yes. As he says, this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realised the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it wasn't less painful than I just had to take down. Okay. Let's look at the bed. It's been 2 weeks since you set sail for Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time now, Hodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage on your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew would come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in a wardrobe. The last night was no exception. Because of that, you had no idea what's happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Hmm. Oh, I clicked the wrong button, dang it. Is there a fast forward button? I pressed the wrong button. We're gonna investigate. Oh wait, let's look at this. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Bruya. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. One thing for sure, either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Let's look at that door bolt. When I went for help, the crewman forced the door open. The spot had been firmly shut closed. But still, with the door bolted, there would still be no way to get in and out of the cabin, that's for sure. Nobody suspects me. When he glares at me like that, I feel tensed up down my spine. I remember reading on a detective novel, the cop who used the needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from the outside in a situation like this. Yes, that's the current trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself, but the door of this cabin and frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of that needle and thread trick here. Okay, we've looked at the bolt. What about this? What does it say? Sege. It is the Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true like Kazuma. Yeah, it says calligraphy. Always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at his characters without feeling shame? Knowing who drew them so thoroughly? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship? Now you're going to bring that up, aren't you? I can't win. Okay. Just gonna vent. I think that's triangle opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, that would appear to. You're right. But its purpose to allow fresh air into the room. Surely it wouldn't be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps It's so that rain and Spain don't find a way in when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Look at this desk. This is where Dear Casimir's son would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Our poor Casimir, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks like the last entry was incomplete. Let's see what it says. It must be if I could be a verbal cue. Ah, yeah. Oh, she knocked him out. Yeah. Yeah. That's how the question was. Casimir may have the power of this world, but he must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important, something like relevant to the case? Alright. I won't read it. Wow, she's very firm on that. Poor Casimir. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for truth more important? Ah, Herlock Sholmes, who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, haven't you? I've no idea who he is or going there, but he looks suspicious and tall, and suspiciously tall. No, Hoda-san, don't tell me. Do you not really know who this is? Well, no, I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him, and he's investigating Casimir's death, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell well. But in that case, you simply must talk to him. Am I just imagining it, or does this episode seem uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get to that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sight to see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shush, this is a critical point in my investigation. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps I would be for the best. Greetings. I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah. What exactly what exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Yeah. I see. Fascinating. Sorry, what do you see? It feels like you're looking straight through me. Yeah, yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has been exposed by the deductions of crystallized view. I've been in Afghanistan, I perceive, just recently with the John Watson introduction. Haha. Sorry. What? And now, whilst venturing through the foreign climes, you have found yourself in the most troubling predicament. Oh, accurately. But how? Yeah. It was the most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? Of course, a great many things. There was no mystery, my dear madame. For example, You have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are mercenary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. Huh? And when the buried occupant of this cavern discover your identity, you end his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts perfectly. I need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives his eyes. Wrong guy, lad. Just to be clear, you don't talk about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another person in this cabin who thinks it was the bill? A Russian Saturn with 16 victims in his name? I don't even see one person that fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. And you're playing a revolution too. It's shameful behavior now, the son. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way yeah, oh, and you threw me on the floor. Explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. But was that not right? Was voting for your phone card you find yourself in the most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs to the scene of a murder. So if I'm not really what you call a deduction, is more of a plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy. That's the base of a deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. My apologies. How remiss of me. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men as women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So, it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same, the imitable, the actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Sasada-san? The most famous detective in the world? No, Hoda-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? You must ask him what he's deduced. He'll have worked on the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Let's converse with him. I'm in handcuffs on the house arrest. Click the wrong button. Yeah. Let's converse with him, the great detective. So you are a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one, the only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. But no, call me Sholmes. You can read about my exploits in the exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rant's magazine, full of the wonderful short stories and interesting articles from London. I never missed an issue. They were sent to England. I have sent it from England especially. Yes. Here it is, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So you're a protagonist of a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistakes, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backwards. Backwards. My trustworthy biographer records my greatest detecting moments and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson. President keeping shocked at Wilson. Dr. Wilson? I must say, since our publication, I've been fantastically busy as of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a past crown. Really? Okay. Deduction, you see, is for me is a science, a logical reasoning in the purest form. As science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle reaction to this subject in the subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The auto conclusion is without fail the truth. As demonstrated only a few short moments ago, actually looked me dead in the eyes and claimed that. So you see, I have a turn for both observation and for deduction and fame. That's what makes ED one a Harley. Herlock Sholmes. Kazuma's death, okay. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit at the cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama's death this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open, and I concealed myself amongst their numbers, gaining an entry into the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board, and the handcuff seems excellent fit now, Hodder. Ah, the very moment I laid eyes on the sea, two things became were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Let's hear what the two facts were. I need deduction right now. Mr. Sholmes, tell us please, what two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes, but first, let's be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. Oh, what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that are deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering the escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed. Oh, he wasn't Russian. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian? Over the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That's a Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma could have left a message in Russian? In the final moments, many find their native tongue fitting in their head. For example, this young man Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? No, he wasn't. Initially, I considered Gardarov the name of the killer. A sort of Robert Guard, perhaps. But for interest of foreigners, I decided it would be wrong to just look inside the wardrobe in there at least. Maybe found Mr. Naohara-san sleeping so soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim, in other words, you were acquainted. If my memory serves, the outfit is the traditional dress of Russian people. Our school uniform is the traditional dress of Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze for hidden details. Okay. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Nahodo? Oh, yes. Thank you. The photographs of the crime scene has been entered the court record. Nice. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What? Pray. You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fierce revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Ah, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to that truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me? Do you think? That certainly interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian. I don't speak Russian. A deduction just now. We were talking about your deduction before. The things that concluded about me. I see the now famously accurate traveling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping you discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and the assassin of 16 Park. Here we had this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolution villain. Oh Jesus Christ! Flees Russia via Shanghai. Since when was Casimir Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes concluded he was Russian. Simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit was the same merciless revolutionary, the one who could kill the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was covered. Yes, you. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything about. Look at his face. Well, you are fierce and revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned how to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And might I add, your name doesn't appear on the ship paper list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? What about other details? 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all the particulars in the article. Do revolutionaries usually agree with interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? What about the part you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? It's clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returning from a time period subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. The Afghanistan place. Oh, I've absorbed all that in within the pages, but I see no rubbish bins nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been added. Okay, so the revolutionary is involved in the case. Okay, cool. Okay. On the back, cast your eyes over it sometimes if it interests you. Okay. It's all written in Russian. I could have hoped to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. or were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you examining Kazuma's desk watch. Kazuma? Ah yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desk top of the victim. You see the victim was penning some text. London diary. Kaz was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. That's something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it all already? It is my business knowing what other people do not. Yes, I believe it or not. Know the smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what Susato Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with your trademark takedown? I'm sorry, Naoto-san. What on earth do you mean? Wow! She's the op. Anyways, to return to matter, her name is Zai belonging to the victim. It would appear that the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Can you be precise about the details? But I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado, nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. You don't get ha. But this diary is little complicated looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Ha 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 ha. What was all that showing off about before? If you would be so kind as to show me, I'd be happy to read it to you, Mr. Show. Wow. I was obliged, my dear madame. The final entry here is Kazuma's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 2:30 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound. These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I've no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say, and I was presumably referencing to that up there, the lattice up in the wall which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered. Nice. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Do you have anywhere to go? Or somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing his diary has piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I'm still too long, Home Sisters takes hold. I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are curious breeds. Our mind rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance of your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, please. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one trying to decide as the culprit in the first place. Whatever you do mean, I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking, you just said it. Only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you the face of a criminal. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, not really. So what were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. But anyways, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? I mean, it says this. If you are the culprit, but you must play the part more convincingly, roll over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, just having a laugh in my face. Now, Hood-san, why are you just standing there for what? You must go investigate the cabin next door. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can. Ah, yeah. Oh, she cut them off. Oh, she flipped me over. After Cousin spent his time over struggling to leave us at 2. You're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off with here first, don't you think? I was going on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there's still some things I can do to help myself. And I owe to Kazuma to do everything I can to find my way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Okay, and with that, we're going to end today's playthrough. Thank you very much for joining me today. And next time we'll be continuing on this investigation and try to figure out who killed Kazuma.